Uh, Everybody says the markets are bad in September. Hasn't always been that way. I mean, it was just a time where the hedge funds, mutual funds, and investment companies start taking profits and showing their profits for the year. So you're going to see downward trends in that sense. But we also had a couple of bright spots. Technology has continued moving on the upside. We also see the retail sector moving on the upside as well. And that surprised us. We didn't expect that. A lot of people thought that retail, especially with the Delta variant, was going to be somewhat muted. And yes, it is. But at the same time, it's much better in terms of what we saw. We're also seeing, in terms of workers right now, not as many workers are back as we like to have seen, but that's really because of the Delta variant. So we shouldn't read too much into that. And there are some bright spots, and we have to keep aware of that in spite of the September/October blues. You buy on these dips and it pays off rather well for you. But the challenge becomes not where the dip is, but is there a lower dip? And when that happens, you go and buy that first dip and you're like, it goes down again. And you say to yourself, well, maybe I should have waited a little bit. But you cannot control where that bottom is. If you did, you'd be a much wiser and richer man than I am, that's for sure. So you have to say to yourself, where am I comfortable stepping in and putting a position, putting a commitment in, so that way I know later on I will be rewarded for my efforts. And therein lies the challenge. Maybe you don't have to go full leg in here. Maybe you can dip your toes a little bit and put your feet into the investment waters, and later on you can stick the rest of your calf. But right now, hang on. It's going to be bumpy, and it should be this way till about second week October or so, because that's when traditionally everybody's declared their gains and losses for the year. Where we're going in, this is why your 401k and your IRAs grow over time, because you're never just putting a whole bunch of money in for one time. You could be doing it monthly, you could be doing it weekly. There is plenty of velocity of where you can go in the market and make money over time. So what you're mentioning has been one of the greatest gifts to investors, especially unsophisticated investors who don't want to try to time the market. They just want to get in, they want to make a commitment and do so every week or every 2 weeks. And that in and itself is one of the things that can help you grow your portfolio over a long period of time. And I've seen people personally, my clients, and more than that, make millions of dollars doing so. I mean, I would definitely stick with the big companies. You see your Walmarts, if you're looking at the retail sector, remember, Christmas is coming. The Game of Thrones, I said, they say winter is coming. Well, guess what? Christmas is coming, and it's a wonderful time for the Walmarts, the Amazons of the world, because they're going to make money no matter what. People are using their services and taking advantage of a price dip to make more money long term. And these are high quality stocks, and you're going to get rewarded for your effort. But technology is the same thing too. Technology, a lot of people, should I say, the companies, the investment companies, are selling their positions right now or declaring their loss or gains, and people go in and they buy them at this point, take a little bit of a commitment, and over the long period of time, they've been rewarded for their efforts. I've seen it time and time again. It's just something that happens as it's going on. The final thing that I'll mention just very quickly is you want to own companies that are related to the infrastructure plays, all right? Your Caterpillars of the world, John Deere's. Why? Because they're almost done. The government is almost done getting this into a law where these companies are going to be the biggest benefactors, have the biggest benefits of that money going forward, because they're going to do this roads, bridges, tunnels, wherever, and they're going to need heavy duty equipment in order to do it. It's like a building boom of sorts, but an infrastructure. So you want to be positioned in the right place so you can make some money. Quick answer is both. And I'll explain. The reason, let's just take long-term energy sector. The infrastructure still being built. This is not a today play when you're talking about alternative energies. It is something that BP, Amoco, Royal Dutch Shell, and all the major oil companies are getting into, but they know they're not going to see the fruition of this, or they're not fully committed until 2030, 2040, 2050, and beyond. So you have to think in the energy sector, where can I make my money? And yes, you can go into your oils and energies, because as they're setting up their infrastructure, who benefits? The fossil fuel companies. So you want to make sure you're positioned strategically and make money with those companies whilst this is all getting sorted out, because it ain't happening today. It could be happening maybe 10, 20 years from now, but not yet. And let's make money in the meantime.